Get started here in just a few seconds. Okay. My name is Chris Winters, and welcome to the Calls of Coaching Call. If I'm correct, today is the 8th, and I know I say this all the time, but man, the year is already flying by. I can't believe it's like almost U.S. tax season again. It's like, oh my God. Everything's going up here. So let's go get started here. We got a lot to go over. Save your questions towards the end. So if you got questions as I go along, don't type it in the chat box. It makes it a lot easier for me to answer them for you if you just kind of keep them on a text file or something. And then when we're kind of done with all the questions and answers that people have sent in my initial presentation, then you can throw them in the chat box. It just works out a lot easier than that. Otherwise, I get so many questions that come in, it's really hard to keep them organized, and I want to make sure that I answer everyone's questions. So it's really not just for my convenience, it's for you, and we want to make this the best experience for you possible. So today here, I'm going to start with a story, but it's a very important story, and some of you, probably none of you know about this. I haven't shared this part of my life before, but when I was around 10 years, well, actually a little bit younger, when I was around 6 years old, my mother was single, by the way, and then for whatever reason, I found myself staying at her parents' house or my grandparents' house when I was 6 years old, and they basically raised me until I was about 10, 11 years old, and they were wonderful people. I remember Christmas time there living with my grandparents was just amazing. They really made a huge deal out of it. And my grandmother, I remember one Christmas Eve, I was around 6 years old, and I was around 7. My grandmother came up and she said, Santa Claus will be coming pretty soon. You need to go upstairs and go to bed and go to sleep so that you can be a good boy. You wake up in the morning, there'll be presents and stuff. And I said, yeah, absolutely, Grandma. Good night, and good night, Grandpa. And then I went upstairs and went to bed. And of course, Christmas Eve, it's pretty hard to go to bed because you're so excited, especially 7 years old. You can't wait to get presents in the morning and stuff. And I was expecting one of these Swin bikes with a banana seat. Probably totally dating myself. It was like a 5-speed, which is a huge deal. And then I was just about to fall asleep, and my grandma came in my bedroom. I was just like half asleep, half awake, and my grandma came in the room. I wasn't quite sure if it was a dream or not, and she said, "Chris, you gotta wake up. Santa Claus is downstairs." And I opened up and I was like, "Grandma, really? Santa Claus is downstairs?" And she said, "Yes, he's downstairs." I was like, "Wow!" And so I put my arm out and ran past my grandma, and I booked down those stairs, and I ran to the living room, and there he was, right in my living room, Santa Claus. I was shocked. I could not believe it. And Santa Claus, "Hey, how you doing? I heard you've been a good boy," and stuff. And he's, my grandma and I put out like some cookies and milk for him and stuff, and he thanked me for the cookies and milk. I was just like a starstruck. I couldn't believe what was going on. But then I noticed something kind of strange, and that is that Santa Claus smelled like Old Spice, just like my grandfather. I was like, that's kind of weird. And so then he handed me a present that was wrapped, and he said, "You've been such a good boy. I'm going to allow you to open up one present tonight, and here it is." And then when he handed me the presents, I looked down at Santa Claus's shoes, and I noticed that he still had mud on his shoes, the same mud on his shoes that my grandfather had on his shoes earlier when he was shoveling the snow. And I said, "Wait a minute. That's kind of weird. Smells like Grandpa. Has the same mud on the shoes as Grandpa." And then I opened up the presents, right? So I was just too focused on the presents. Then I opened up the present, I whipped it open, and I looked at it, and then I started looking at the present, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. The present was made in China." I was like, whoa. And then I looked up, and I looked really closely at Santa Claus, and I thought, oh my goodness. I think it is. Is that my grandfather? I didn't say nothing. because I was smart, man. I had toys on the line. I wasn't about to lose all those toys. So I didn't say anything. And so I had my presents, and I went back upstairs, went to bed. And I woke up the next morning, I couldn't wait. And I had my Swin bike there. It was blue, and it had the banana seat and a 5-speed, and like the bag wheel was a little bit bigger than the front. It was really cool. But I couldn't remember. I was in kind of a state of shock because I was thinking, my goodness, maybe there really isn't anything. Maybe Santa Claus isn't for real. And I started thinking and thinking about this. And then I started thinking, well, maybe, wait a minute, can reindeer really fly? I don't think reindeer can fly. And I remember specifically as a child being tormented for a while mentally against these kind of two realities. One was believing in Santa Claus, and the other was believing that Santa Claus wasn't real. And I was literally tortured for that. And I remember getting in enough information in my brain, stuff like Santa Claus isn't real. That was really my grandfather. Reindeer can't really fly. Can Santa Claus really travel around the world? In just one day, and he can't fit down the chimney. I mean, all of a sudden it didn't make sense, but yet I wanted to believe in Santa Claus. I really wanted to believe in Santa Claus. But the more information that came in, I could no longer believe on it. Even if I tried to make myself believe in it. I remember trying to make myself believe in Santa Claus, and I couldn't because I had too much information in. So why am I telling you this story? It's because all of us have these realities of the way the world should be, and we create these belief systems in here. And I'm telling you that every single common belief, every single common, the way the world is supposed to be, what you're supposed to do, what's real, what's not real, all of it has always been proven wrong. Always. Every single time. Every single time. So I'm just going to give you a few and then we'll move on here. But here's one. I'll get to some newer ones here. But everything that can be invented has been invented, according to Charles here, who is at the U.S. in charge of the U.S. Patent Office. Everything has been invented, has been. Nothing more will be invented. We've already invented too much. Now that sounds preposterous today, probably kind of like Santa Claus sounds preposterous to you today. But that was his reality. Okay, I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. And this was the chairman of the board of IBM. Oh, the whole world, what's the marketplace for this? How much should we invest? Well, there's probably only a market for maybe 5 of these. What? Are you kidding me? And it sounds crazy today. But, and this is the last one. It says, with over 50 foreign cars already on sale here, meaning the U.S., the Japanese auto industry isn't likely to carve out a big slice of the U.S. market. Whatever. So, all right. So, anyways, the whole point there that I wanted to kind of point out there is that all of us hold these beliefs about the way we think the world should be. And whether it's science or business, whether we think the world is flat or round, or whether we think we revolve around the sun or the sun revolves around us, or whether we believe, leeches are going to, suck out the bad blood and toxins from our body. I'm thinking of some really cool stuff now. There's many, many ads from Time Magazine, and even the New Yorker of doctors recommending that babies drink Coca-Cola. And that mothers smoke cigarettes because it's a woman's world now, and you have to have your own rights. All this kind of stuff has all been proven wrong. So I just want you to think for a moment about your own thoughts. What are your Santa Claus beliefs? Do you still believe in Santa Claus? But I don't mean Santa Claus literally. You know what I mean, in a metaphorical way. Do you still believe in Santa Claus? Okay, because those things are meant to be shattered on that end of it. So, anyways, so We're going to cover a couple of things, and then we'll get into some of the questions and answers that were sent in, and then we'll cover your questions and answers live on the call here. Let me just make a habit of this. I just want to check the chat box, make sure still see my screen, still hear me, all that kind of stuff. Yep, okay, so sound, everything good. I'm not sending any bad calls there, so we're good. So correct link velocity. Really what the typical notion is out there with link velocity, and what is link velocity? Link velocity is basically the rate at which, the speed at which you send backlinks to your money site. So, how fast or how slow should you go? And there's a lot of, general belief out there, a lot of Santa Claus type of belief as far as how you should do it and what the speed should be. But all of that's completely wrong. So I want to set the stage straight here, because it's completely dependent on your niche. And there's actually a method about going about it. And you should really follow that. So if someone tells you that, you should do this amount of links per month and you should be consistent with it, blah, 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 it all depends on the niche and where you are. And it doesn't need to be a mystery, okay? So let's actually take a look at some studies on here. And let me move this back for when I save this for later. So let's actually look at some examples on here. And so what I'll do is open this up. And so let's actually take a look at it. So what I'm going to do here is we'll look at, I'll just start using the Handyman, because I use that for a lot of examples. Handyman Phoenix, we'll pull that up. And so let's say we're in the Handyman niche, and we're coming down here, and let's just say we want to kind of analyze this niche here. So we'll take a look at the site here. It's number 2. And let's check it out, and let's see if we wanted to beat these guys, and we're in this niche, and we're in this niche in Phoenix in particular, okay? What is this, what do we need to do? How fast do we do? 2 backlinks a month, 4, 5? What do we do? Well, let's find out. So I'll go ahead and paste this in here. I'm going to log in. Okay, so not too bad. I mean, obviously not a very competitive niche at all, because it's only got 6 referring, a 17 trust flow, so pretty easy peasy for ranking number 2. And really, this is the link that's carrying all their trust flow right here, because it says a trust flow of 26, and the rest don't even have a trust flow that counts, and it's just 6 referring backlinks on here. Just as a side note, when you guys and gals out there are submitting to the support desk to get your domains, we hand out domains like this all day long. And I have people reject them. This site is ranking number 2, and it has a very good even spread between the trust flow and citation, just 2. That's awesome. And people will come back and go, yeah, but if I lose this link right here, I'll lose the whole site. So I want websites that have more of these links on here. No. If you want, you need to understand, as far as what the domains go, the same domains that we're handing out at just whatever it costs at a regular register. And it's not like we just press a button and get them for free. There's a whole army of people behind getting these. So it's not like it's some press button easy thing to do. But anyways, these are the exact same domains we use. We have thousands of sites ranking above the fold on page 1, and these are the same exact sites we're using. Just like this. I mean, if this became available, I would buy this in a heartbeat. But yet there's members who won't take this because they've bought some kind of course about how to buy aged domains. So yeah, if you want to buy an aged domain that you're gonna have to pay $20 to $40 for a service to search for them, and then you're gonna have to end up bidding against a bunch of other yahoos that are doing the same thing. You're gonna end up paying 60, 70, 80, $100 for a domain like this, or it's a .com, or you can buy it for $9.99, and it's perfectly fine. So, okay, so enough of that. So basically, what we're looking at is, okay, so what do we need to do to beat this guy? Well, we need to look at the links. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these links. So this is their big one on here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this link. This is frankly the one that's given them juice. Okay, so this is it. So what kind of site is this right away? Just by looking at this, what is this? This is probably where they got their web design, right? So somewhere on here is probably their website on here. I'm not going to look for it right now, but that's it. It's not a contextual link, nothing. It's just an image of their website. This is where they got their website designed, and it's a backlink, and that's it. Okay. And as far as quality of backlinks go, I mean, the highest quality of backlink that you could possibly get is going to be from a website of the same or very similar niche and topic, contextual, good, rich content, and you've got your content, you got your backlink somewhere in there. And this is nothing close to that as far as a quality of backlink. This doesn't have anything to do. This is about websites. There's nothing to do with Handyman, okay? But yet it's the link that's maintaining and giving them their number 2 ranking in Phoenix, and I guarantee you they're making a substantial amount of their income is coming in from that website. So there's a couple lessons there. We're looking at the backlinks, we're looking at the quality and kind of the velocity of this. So I want to kind of examine the quality first. So let's take a look at this next one. And this next backlink, and this is why when you select your city, after you've gone through the process of selecting your niche, and then hopefully you've looked at 10 or 15, you've put in some hours and you put in the grind work to do it, and you've narrowed it down to your top 3 using the worksheet that we provide, then send it in. I'll personally look at it and just give you my feedback. Sometimes there's not a whole lot I can say because everything just looks fine. Other times I can point out some things maybe you never thought about. But that's because once you get into your niche, you're going to be spending some time into it. And I want to make sure that your time is well spent. We want to create some success stories here. So that's why I take time out of my day to do that. And then the second thing we do is that once you've taken the effort to do the research, get your niche down, what you're going to go after, what you're going to commit to, and then you're going to decide which city you're going to start in. And then you send into our support desk, and we'll give you the full backlink report of the top 3 sites in the city that you're going to start in so that you can do what I'm going through right now, okay? Because it's not like you need to beat Google or you need to outrank some ideal out there of what you're supposed to do. You're just trying to beat these guys. I'm telling you right now, this Handyman Phoenix guy is an easy one to beat. I mean, we're handing out domains on here that have, as good or better backlinks than this one, and certainly have higher trust flow than this one. And then people are saying, well, it's not in my niche, I can't take this. I'm like, well, then you can go spend the $40 or $50 a month to subscribe to a service and then spend $80, $90, $100 on a website. Or you can just do this. This site is ranking number 2 in a competitive area from a backlink that has nothing to do with their niche, and there's no 600 words of original content, nothing. It's just an image of their site, and you click on the image and it goes back to the backlink. That's it. This is what's bringing them in the bucks. So anyways, so let's take a look at their second site. This is their second site. So I've already showed you in the course how you can take this. You can right click, go to view to page source, and you can see on here where their backlink is. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's one of these images or something down here. But this is someone else, and this has to do with window cleaning. And this site, by the way, doesn't have any page rank or nothing. So it has a citation flow, but it has no trust flow. Okay. So it's not even a substantial site. So let's take a look at some of their other links that they've got on here. I'm going to go ahead and skip here. What is this? Home. Okay, so request handyman in Chandler on here. All right. So this is sell, advertise. So this is some kind of service on here where it's a SEO service, but what they do is they get you to pay to put your listing here. So we've got this Phoenix glass repair, appliance repair, and they're probably collecting 20, 30 bucks a month or something like this for this. I think this is our guy, Handyman. But anyways, his site is somewhere here, and I'm sure it's a do follow. It shows up blue it is. So it's a do follow link on that, and then they got their information, so they hit them up for SEO later. And it's got so this on here has got nothing as far as this URL here. So again, not a contextual link, just a straight out, here's my naked link and back to my site. And again, they're ranking number 2. Okay, so all right, so these are, there's basically 5 links here, and then they have some links pointing at, instead of the URL, just the root domain. So they've got some links here, and there's a total of 12, of which, by the way, half of those are the ones we just looked at, because here they are right here, and then we've got a few more down here. So it's not, the point is that the links that are making this rank are not that difficult, and there is how many of them? 6. So if you got a brand new site, and the site you're trying to beat has got 6 backlinks, which none of them are contextual. None of them are, the one that's pushing it up to the top doesn't even have anything to do with handyman or home service or nothing. So how many backlinks do you think this really needs? I mean, if you just open up a brand new site, how many backlinks do you think how fast should you be doing this? What if you did 6 backlinks from some of the private blog networks that we're handing out, and we're handing out 5 to 10 at a time, okay? And you got 24, 27, 2019 trust flows coming out of these things. I mean, are you going to do all those in 1 month? No, it's way too fast, because your competition has got 6 here, and this is 6 in basically the last 90 days. If we go to the last 5 years and I open this up, you see 103, those have all been deleted. Okay, those are all deleted. So these are the active ones. So you want to take a look at the majestic flow that we give you, the backlinks. You want to take a look at this and you go, okay, if your site has 6 and you got a brand new site, okay, you're probably going to want to be doing maybe 1 a month, okay, especially on a brand new site. Now, when you're brand new, Google needs to wait and say, whoa, you're the new kid on the block. I don't care how perfect you act. I'm not going to recognize you for a little while. So SEO in the beginning is just a slow patience game. And what happens is that people don't even look at it from this perspective, and they go into it and they go, okay, I'm going to do 2 or 3 links a month, quality links, and nice and slow and steady, and add some content. And they're like, well, I'm not even ranking on page 1. What's going on? And they get frustrated after 6, 7, 8 weeks, and then they just start, okay, I'm just going to toss like 4 of these links at here. It's still not there. And then like 8 more links. Oh, geez, they're all quality links. I should have been there. And all of a sudden, they're back in no one's land. They're back in the sandbox, beyond 10, just we don't even know where you are. Because it's not natural, because Google's looking at everybody else, and they're going, hey, this got 6 on here. And I mean, let's, if we want to, I know it's kind of belabor this point a little bit, but I guess it's not, okay, so this is going to be this one right here is Mr. Handyman. I was talking about this before. This is Deer Valley on here. This one is a master domain, so it's not going to have hardly any links at all to it. That's not really a good example. Well, it's not a good example for this particular one on here, but anyways, I'll just do it anyways, because I think this one has got maybe 1 or 2 backlinks at the most, which kind of puts it naturally where it should be based on this one. But I know this is a master domain, and I talked about master domains last webinar, so I'm not going to touch on that now. But if we look at this, it's got 4 referring domains. None of them have any trust flow whatsoever. and one of them is from their Canadian site, and these are not going to be high quality backlinks at all. I don't even know why that's going back to that site. Anyways, point is that this one doesn't have any on here, any good backlinks. It has 4 backlinks going to this page. Now, there's a whole other discussion about the root domain on here, but I talked about that last week. And the site we just looked at on here that was ranking here, it had really good 6 backlinks, and one had a 26 trust flow. It's really kind of give words, and it's above the other one I just looked at. So kind of makes a little bit of sense, right? And so when you're looking at these things, you need to be looking at this. So like if your site, for example, if in your area, the top 2 sites had, maybe 50 backlinks, referring backlinks, and the first 10 were, had some good trust flow to them, then you're probably going to be able to get away with around 3 to 4 backlinks every month. But something like this, and most of you are going to be in this situation right here, by the way, okay? Because I've looked at your competition, and most of you are going to be somewhere around this kind of scenario here. So you need to slow things way down. It's going to be like 1 to 2 backlinks per month, and you're going to want to couple that with the other thing Google looks at. It's like, oh, wait a minute, you're all the way back here on page 13 or 14, and all of a sudden you got 2 high quality backlinks. How did they even find you? Hence, we do the crowd search, which is people independently with local IP addresses search for your brand name, which is if you got it indexed and you do it the way I teach you, you're going to get indexed by your brand name, within 24 hours or less, sometimes within an hour. And you're going to search for that. People are going to search for that. They're going to spend a couple minutes on the site, and then they're going to leave, and they're done looking for handyman at that point, which tells Google, like, whoa, wait a minute. A person out there looked for this person's brand name, which is handyman, hung around it for 2 or 3 minutes, and then they were done searching for they didn't continue and go into any other handyman sites. And they tweeted it. Wow, kind of interesting. And then someone else with a different IP address, different Firefox profile, does the same similar action. But this time they might post about you on their Facebook account. And it's all real and legit stuff. And Google's like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And then you do that for a little while, and then you got 1 or 2 quality backlinks coming back. Now that makes sense. Okay? So just slow and steady. And if you feel all nervous, like you got to do more backlinking, because we do provide you. I mean, as long as you put your domains to good use, we'll just keep pushing them out to you. Then use tier 1s. Use a tier 1 like a citation. Use another blog post. Use some kind of other site that you've ranked through, and start nailing that other site, or like a press release that came up in the Facebook group today. Use a press release, a tier 1 that you can come in and just start nailing backlinks to it, that will then filter in and then go to your site. That's perfectly fine to do, but slow down the rate at which you do backlinks to your site compared to what's already ranking page 1 and 2. I hope that makes sense. That's the link velocity. There is no formula for it. It's just that when you look at a site and you go, hey, the person I'm trying to beat has got a total of 6 links, and they're all kind of junky, really. It doesn't make any sense that you come in and throw in 8 quality backlinks in the first month, right? It doesn't make sense. And just know you got to have patience. In the beginning, you got to have patience. You got to have a lot of patience. It's a patience game. But then you get that first city ranking number 1 and the second city. And there's going to be that tipping point. I talked about that tipping point last week. And then you kind of gain some trust in there. So, all right. So enough of that. Let me check the chat box. Not for questions, just to make sure that my screen's not off. Okay. I'll get to your questions in a minute. Okay. So live. Everything's running smoothly, unlike I did last week. So let me go back to my slides, get me back on track here, and we'll keep rock and roll. All right, so that's it. That's your correct link velocity. It all depends on the competition you're trying to beat and the quality. Remember the quality of the backlinks. If you come in and you take a look at the Majestic backlinking and you look at this, what you're going to find, and I've looked at so many of these, what you're going to find in every situation is maybe there's one or two backlinks that are kind of similar to the niche, and everything else doesn't even matter. A long time ago, I did one of these calls, and we looked at San Diego DUI attorney, highly competitive. I mean, we're talking mega competitive. And we did this Majestic backlink profile, and we looked at it. The sites that were giving it the most power was a history backlink. It had nothing to do with DUI law. So please don't get all hung up on, oh my God, I got to get domains that are all about handyman. Otherwise, I just can't take them. Because your competition doesn't, and they're ranking fine. Plus, I show you in the course how to repurpose them to match your niche. But you don't have to do it for all of them, okay? Alrighty, so let's move on. Okay, so this is a topic that came up, and I'm going to go over this here. So how to fix Google location unknown when you're using a proxy. So as many of you know, when one of the strategies that we use, because, let's face it, Google tracks everything that you do. It's just, it's not like a conspiracy thing, like they're trying to spy on you, like all these dumbos trying to scare you with. It has nothing to do, it all has to do with money and marketing. Because if they understand your behavior, what you look at, they can better advertise for you, okay? That's what it comes down to. And that's why they track everything that you do. And that's why Facebook tracks everything that you do. So knowing that they do this, then we've had a tremendous amount of success. And it's not the golden ticket here. It's just combined with everything else. Is that we create separate Firefox profiles with IP addresses, because it just makes sense. If you're opening up in a business and you're in Houston, Texas, then probably your IP address should be in Houston, Texas, right? It just makes sense. And so, but the challenge that we have with these, and some members have been having, is that when they get their Firefox profile set up and they get their IP address, and then they go and they start searching, and their IP address is whatever, Phoenix or whatever, and then they look in Google in the lower left-hand corner, it says unknown. What do? It's actually an easy fix. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so let's get rid of some of these windows on here. And let's just say here, I'll just go back to Handyman Phoenix, and then I'll scroll down to the bottom. What we're talking about is just scroll down to the bottom down here. And it says right here, location, Barcelona, Spain. Well, that's where I am. So it makes perfect sense that this is where it should be, right? I'm not on a proxy. I'm not, I'm supposed to be in Spain. I'm not trying to hide the fact. But what happens is that when you get a proxy that's for Houston or San Diego or whatever city you're starting in, it'll say unknown down here. Well, let me back up. If it says something else other than, if you're starting out in Houston and it says Houston, then you're fine. There's no worries. But if it says like Dubai or Philippines or Malaysia or Vietnam or something like that, then you just need to get a new proxy. But if it says unknown, no problem. You're perfectly fine. Okay. Google actually tracks exactly where you are. But because it says unknown in here, let me show you how you fix that. And let's see. So what should happen is that you should have a Gmail account with your profile. So you can only do this if you have a Gmail with your profile, which you should. That's what we teach. Then you just come right up here to this little checker box here. You're going to click on here, and you're going to go to My Account. And then from My Account, you're going to go to, I just forget if it's sign into Google or your personal info. Let me go sign into Google first. Yeah. Nope, it was the other one, sorry. So then we come back here, your personal info. and local sharing. So it will always say you're not sharing your location. And a lot of people think, oh, well, that's why it says unknown. No, that's not it. This is for sharing with an Android or a phone, and then you download a special app with Google. And we're not doing that. Okay. So what you do is you click on here, and you say, oh my God, it's not showing anywhere. No wonder it says I'm unknown. No. Then you go right up here to local history, and then manage activity. And then it will show, I'm going to skip this again, show us a little map. Okay, so it shows the map. So all you need to do, I'll actually do this right here. I haven't done this before in here. And let me just see if I need to come up with, I actually need to get a real address. Okay, close enough right there. No results found. I got to find a real address. I'm trying to make things up. Okay, let's see if that's it. Yes, okay. Bing, bing. Okay, so I'm going to select that now, and I'm going to save it. Okay, so that's my. Now watch what happens. Watch what happens when I go back to Handyman, and I'm going to refresh it. Okay, it's not working here, but let me show you where it works. It's not working because it's actually reading my IP address. So let me show you, because I did this before. So let me show you in the slides here, and then when you log in as a member, you'll see a whole video of me doing this walkthrough here. But this is a slide. So this is exactly what I just did right now. So I log in here, and then I go to my account, right? And then sign in with Google. Review events. Now this is really critical to do this when you see the unknown and you got a whole brand new Firefox account, because this will blow you away. Because when you go to review events and you go to wherever you signed in, PC or whatever, you click on this, guess what happens? They totally know what's going on. Location unknown, but they got my browser. And what's my browser number? That's, by the way, is a Phoenix browser. That is my IP one. Even though they say unknown, they still got it recorded right here. Okay? And then after that, then you go, this is where I just was at. So then you go to your personal info. You're not sharing. We already been through that, right? Local history, manage activity. And then I enter in my business address. And my business address is going to be your persona business address, right? Which is the Phoenix one. And then from there, when I go back to Google, what'll happen, it didn't happen here because my IP address here is really Barcelona, and they're not like fooled by it, is that it will then say down here, Phoenix, Arizona, which is the same, which will match your IP address. And then if you want to prove it, and I do it in the video, you want to prove it even more, then you just go handyman near me, right? And when you go handyman near me, what will happen on there is that, now this is showing Spain, okay? But when you do it on your IP address, because your real on that will be Barcelona, Spain. So yours will be whatever yours is. And it will actually show up when you just say handyman near me, it will show up your IP address. If your IP address is Houston, it will show up Houston. So that's how you fix that. Okay? Super simple. And please note that the whole time, the entire time, they knew where your IP address is, which is proven right here. Even though it says location unknown. Oh, you're using browser Firefox 44.0, and this is your IP address. So that's how you get over that. So, and then I wanted to add one other thing here is, okay, so if you're ever confused about when to use Firefox, when not to use Firefox, how to use them. I just laid all the scenarios out. Firefox for your money site, if you have a second money site, these lay out all the things because we get a lot of questions like this in the support desk. So hopefully that will help out. And we appreciate all your feedback in the Facebook group because that lets us know where the holes are, and then we're able to plug them up like we did here, and we'll always do our best to find solutions. Okay, so let's move on here. And I got one other main topic I wanted to cover, and then we got some questions and answers that were sent in. Okay, so I want to talk about, this is important here because we're getting at the point now where we're at a tipping point where the group, we've handed out, I would say in the last 2 weeks, we've handed out over 1,000 domains. 1,000 domains that you just go buy for whatever cost from different countries to the members. So we're going to have an influx of link exchanges coming in. So I want to make sure I cover this really good about how to do easy link exchange because this is really important because and we've handed out an average of 5 or more these quality domains. Okay, I really want to see you guys out there kicking some butt. So, but remember the SEO game in the beginning because you all got brand new sites. It's going to be slow. We got to link out slowly. You got to be patient. It's going to happen. Okay, it really will. So it gets easier the longer that you do it and the slower that you do it. So anyways, so now we're at the point we're starting to do some really good, I see lots of posts in there for link exchanges and so on and so forth. Remember, go back to the majestic backlinks that my team sent you, re-look over those, and then re-examine about how fast you want to do some backlinking to your site, the velocity of it. When in doubt, just go slow. Really slow. You can't go too slow. Seriously. But you can go too fast real easy. And with all these good link exchanges being around here, I want you guys to do those. But it's if you're looking at your backlinks, you're going, well, my greatest competition has 10 backlinks and not even that good quality. You probably want to kind of narrow it down to maybe 1 or 2 a month, or even 1 a month with some good crowd searching going on. And then pick a tier 1, one of your citations that has a do follow link, and just start. If you want to do some link exchange, just start blasting the heck out of that. That's going to end up rising right up to the top. Google's not going to penalize that. And then some of that link juice gets passed on from there to your site, but safe link juice. Okay. So do it the smart way if you really feel like you got to go crazy with it. So. So we've already gone over some kind of examples of the backlink velocity. I've kind of when I first started there, so we won't go back over that. These are 3 super easy ways to do it, and I go over this in module 7 too, but I really wanted to reiterate it here, and that is I know and can appreciate how much work it takes, A, to select your niche, B, to get your site up. And now you got to start doing some private blog networks, rebuild them, and backlinking. It can seem overwhelming. I get it. So I want to kind of take away some of that overwhelmingness and remind you that look at don't just take my word for it. Take a look at the backlinks that my team sent you of the city you're in and follow those top 3 to 4 to 5 backlinks back and examine them. And I'm going to guarantee you that 9.9 times out of 10, it's just some kind of junky backlink from some site like hey, I got my website designed at this place, and here's a little picture of it, and here's a backlink to my site. And that's the one link that's making it on page, pushing it up to the top of the search engines. Okay, so just remember that. So that in mind on here, and also keeping in mind that what is the best kind of quality link that you can have? Well, it's going to be from niche specific, niche matching, high quality, good trust flow, and you've got a nice contextual, deep contextual, high quality written article. That's the best of the best. It takes a lot of work to do, and I'm here to tell you don't have to do that all the time. Not even close. Okay. So these are 3 ways you can do it. You can have a sponsor link, so sponsors that have donated to our charity. So you could maybe, I don't know, maybe you got there's so many domains that we give that you can go back on the Wayback Machine. You can just copy the darn site right from there. Like, you don't even have to write anything. For God's sakes, you probably got a coupon from GoDaddy. You're paying $7.99 for the domain, not $80-$90, and you didn't stay up all night to try to outbid somebody from it. Okay. So make it easy on yourself. Just copy the darn site from the Wayback Machine. You can't do that every time. I get that. But you can do that quite a bit of time, at least 50% of the time. Just flat out copy the site. And you'll get the homepage. So just copy the homepage. And then it'll have like a home, about us. Just make up a home and about us. You're not going to find that on the Wayback Machine. And then from there, you can like put a little section off to the right or down at the bottom of the page. And look, the homepage, you written nothing original. You're just copying it from the Wayback Machine. And at the bottom, you're saying, hey, here are sponsors that have donated to our charity, and make up a name and a little bit about the charity and make it about whatever the site is, whether it's about baseball cards or whatever. Okay? And then you can just put you can do a link exchange, and you can just have their logo, whatever their business logo is, that image, little tiny image. And I give in module 7, I give you some templates that you can do this with. And you can just have a simple backlink going out, and that's totally fine. It's a good backlink, and it's coming from a site that's got a trust flow of above 20. Everything's cool. So that's an easy way to do it. Another way to do it is that you can either off to the right on a widget, and I give examples of this in module 7. Probably, I think, one of the last videos on that, and also it's in a PDF in there, is you can have like business leaders that we recommend, or businesses in our area that we know and trust. And you can either have a little logo, okay, and then just a link to their site, or you can have, I would just put their link, just the pure, or better yet, you could even just have just a link, but it's just their brand name. And for God's sakes, don't put Phoenix Handyman, and that's so spammy. Put their brand name or something, or just their picture and link back to it, okay? Or another way you could do it is and I would recommend doing this every once in a while, mixing this in when it's appropriate, is, do a link exchange where, you're writing an original article, they're writing an original article, and it has one link going back. And for God's sakes, don't use follow the anchor text that I teach in the course. It's the same anchor text from your site going out as from other sites coming in. And it's very few links that are coming in are like your main keywords. It's predominantly click here, naked links, meaning just your link to your site, or your brand name. And that's why we don't have your brand name something really spammy. Like, no one's brand name is Phoenix Handyman, okay? Nobody names their company that. All right. Okay, so I hope that helps out. Let's move on to some questions that people sent in, and then I'll get to the questions in the chat box. Cool, right? Alrighty, so I haven't had a chance to look at these, so got no idea what's going to come up here. Let me grab a quick drink of water. Alrighty. Okay, so I heard you on a call a few years ago, okay, talking about Host9 and how we set up private name servers. So I did that, and it was some of the best advice I'd heard of in SEO. I must admit, I thought it was a bit of a flag having the NS1 domain name, etc., as only SEOs would know that. Anyways, Host9 has been great for me, and each of my private blog networks is on a different IP address, plus their service is a 5-star. On the second private blog network call, you said to move away from Host9. Is that also likely to be a red flag with private blog networks moving around? Wouldn't most users just stay where they are? Or as the IP addresses are all different, is it okay to leave them there, or is it quite a major shift to shift them all? Great question. Okay, so let me give a little backdrop on this. A few years ago, this is back in 2013, My team and I were looking for efficient ways to get hosting for our private blog networks. And I came across Host9, and I discovered with Host9 that they had I don't know what it is, not an affiliate program, but basically where you're kind of white labeling Host9. And as it turned out, it was on it came out to like a quarter or 50 cents per month per domain. And I got a different IP address for each one. So I was like, man, this is awesome. It's like no one's using it. And so I came out with a free course. It was called Hide Your Ass. And that kind of went viral and went crazy. And then everybody and their mom and dad was using Host9 for their private blog networks. And some people I know, some people like in Canada that I know, and some other people I know that followed that when Google came down on them a little while ago. It was about a year and a half ago or so. They lost all their sites. This person obviously didn't. This person's still there, and they're fine. And then obviously it depends on the quality. This person, I'm going to guess, has probably got some pretty good quality sites, and they look realistic. They don't look like link farms. So they're fine. You're probably going to be fine where you are, right? You've been through the storm, and Google isn't coming after you. As long as you continue what you're doing, you're going to be fine. But and we were fine as well. But I always want to stay ahead of the curve. And I heard because so many people, and I opened up to be frank with you, I opened up the free course, Hide My Ass, and there's a lot of good content on there, by the way. It's outdated now, in my opinion, and that's why I took it down. But if you followed the content and you believed in it, and then you would probably get a Host9 account, which was an affiliate account. And I made a tremendous amount of money off of doing that. And all the right intentions were there. And I would, if it was all about the money, I would just keep promoting it. But I don't. I literally took the site down. It's not on the internet anymore. Because I felt like there was too many people that contacted me personally and said, hey, I was on Host9 and I lost all my sites. There are other people doing this too. I didn't lose my sites. This person didn't. Many didn't. But enough did that I was like, whoa, I can't recommend this anymore. So I took it off. So about that same time, a little bit before, I met some cats in Slovenia. I didn't even know where Slovenia was. I do now. And they had this service going on where they were doing independent IP addresses, and they had apparently taking care of everything. I was like, yeah, whatever. If you guys are still around in 6 months, I'll be glad to take a look at you. Hey, they contacted me in 6 months and said, we're still around. Can you take a closer look at us? And I did. And then we used them for almost a year, and everything was fine. And anyways, they're just really smart. So it's the Easy Blog Network. That's the one that we use now, and we recommend. If you're still on Host9 and you've been through the whole storm, and you're still there, you're going to be fine, because obviously you're doing something right as far as the quality of your sites. So as far as your question goes, I would just keep it there. If you're just starting out, I wouldn't go to them, because there were a lot of sites on there that got taken down. A lot of people, a lot of hard work into making these. So anyways, on to the next one. I was wondering if putting an occasional link to a money site in a private blog network sidebar or footer widget, so far okay, which would always be present in the home page, is as effective as writing an actual article or having a contextual link. Well, it's different, okay? Again, the best link that you could have coming back is from a site that's a niche match. You have good original, really rich content. Within that, deep inside, a good link making sense to go back out. That's the best of the best links. You just can't get any better than that. Coming from a kind of a drop down from that, the next is you got a niche related topic, and you're like, you're like on the sidebar or something like that. It's just kind of a link out what you're saying. But as the example that I just gave here, the handyman is ranking, was it number 1 or number 2, the site there, and the main site that's giving them all their juice is not even to do with handyman. So yes, that's fine to do. And I think I've given some examples earlier of that. So I think that's the last question. Yes, it is. So let me, I've got some slides here and I'm going to post the questions in here. So I will open up the chat box. How are we doing on time? Okay, so we're doing pretty good on time. Crank this open. Scoot this over here. Okay. All right, so I'll just start up here, and let me copy and paste this in here. It's a little slow, but the people who watch the replay appreciate it, and it's good to go back and watch this and you see this in here. Okay, so the question is on here is, what are your thoughts on getting Wikipedia links? You know what? I mean, if you can get one, that's fine. And it's certainly not going to hurt you, right? But I don't think the whole Wikipedia educational government kind of backlinks, which everyone is fed to believe are the good things, are. I mean, we can go back and, I mean, people on the phone call here and watching and listening to the replay, look at your majestic backlinks for the top 3 sites that we sent you in your city that you're starting in. Or if you're starting in the second city, go back and look at those. Did you see any Wikipedia links? Did you see any EDU links or government links? I'm going to guess not. So if I don't see them, I'm not going to go after them. Okay? That's the deal. If on the other hand, my competition, who's in position 1 and 2, they got a whole bunch of Wikipedia links, I'm going to go, whoa, I got to go Wikipedia links, right? So, nah. Especially if you get like a Fiverr gig or some kind of junk like that. Fiverr used to be cool, like when it first came out, but it's not really Fiverr anymore, is it? It's like 15 or 20 or now, right? I was on there the other day just looking around. I can't remember what I was looking for, but it was like everything was like $5 to begin with. But if you really wanted to get the job done, it was going to cost you $20. Anyways, so yeah, it's fine, but do you need it? And is it going to be quality? Are you saying you hand out our domains for free, or is there a cost? Well, the only cost, Paul, is whatever, if we hand out a high quality age domain with a good trust flow and nice, good backlink quality, it's whatever it costs you at GoDaddy or Namecheap, wherever you want to buy it. If it's a .com, it's going to be $9.99, right? Or $7.99 if they got a special, or if you can get a coupon for 99 cents, you can get it for 99 cents. So yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I need to remember to copy these. Do you use SendWire? I got nothing against SendWire. I think it's probably good within moderation. I probably wouldn't hit it. No, I don't, but I don't have anything against it. And if you're going to use it and you got a prescription to it, I wouldn't hit your money site directly. I would be hitting your tier 1s with that, okay? Okay. I have, boy, if I could copy and paste and read at the same time, and chew bubble gum and walk, that would be amazing, right? All right, copy and paste. Boom. Bang. Okay, so now let me read it. I have no domains. I need to set up my domains right so I don't show Google who the owner is of my domains. No, you can show them who your owner is. That's no problem. As I hear you say, can you show me where in your course I can get this explanation so I can do it right? Thank you. It's hard to set up WordPress. Well, I have a stellar support team, 7 days a week. We go into the course. I got a link open somewhere here. Let me just pop open here. So let me log in. I'll just show you around because there's probably some other people that don't know either. So, the way this is designed to do is not to like jump up to module 5. No, you got to go through module 1, which is, you have to complete this. I don't mean watch it and then move on. I mean, you have to do the work and pick your niche before you move on to the next one. Okay. Then you got to learn all about local identity on here. And then the site structure. Now you're ready for the theme. So that's module 4. So we provide you with the theme. Okay. And then step by step how to do it. And we just right here, logo, header, everything right here. Boom, boom, boom. Step by step how to do each section on here. So look, here's the header video. Where's the header on the site? It's right here, header video. I want to learn about the lowest footer and the main footer. Where do I go with that? I just look at the titles on here. Lowest footer, main footer. Okay? It's just step by step on that end of it. So it's always hard if you haven't done it before. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the questions. We're doing good. Is cloak hosting all right? No, don't use cloak hosting. The issue I have with EasyBlog Network is that I don't like not having access to the cPanel. Then don't use them, John. It's okay. If, John, you don't like having access to the cPanel, then don't use them. The other alternative is you go out and you go out and find a bunch of cheap hosting. So I think, what is it? EasyBlog Network, it gets cheaper with more, but let's say you have 10 sites. You have 10 sites. It's $29 a month with EasyBlog Network, and you can rest assured my name on the line here. There's no footprints, period. No SOA, no nothing. You're going to be you can just sleep good at night. You don't have to worry. You go out and get some hosting, right? And everybody goes, "Oh, there's cheap hosting. It's $4.99 a month." Well, it's only $4.99 or $2.99 a month if you pay for the whole year up front. And if you got 10 blogs on that end of it, and you got 10 blogs, and you're paying an average of $5 a month, which you all had to pay up front for, on that. But forget that. Let's just pretend it was really $4.99 a month, and you had 10. That would be $50 a month. EasyBlog Network is $29 a month. The first month, you don't have to pay the whole year up front. Cost, ease, no problem. But you want to go the other route? That's no problem too. There's no issues with that. I'm not trying to shove EasyBlog Network down anyone's throat. It's a really convenient way to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's okay. I got to remember to post these questions on here. Okay, so thank you, David. Let me go ahead and post that in here. Getting some good questions in here. We'll post this in here. Shazam. Okay, so I found this add-on that helps you switch Firefox profiles on here. So you may want to try that out. I haven't tested it out, so I don't know. But the fact that it says the U.S. in here, and if you're doing U.S. markets, probably worth at least checking out. Thank you for that, David. Appreciate that. If you're in the group, David, by the way, the Facebook group, just add that to the Facebook group. We love those kind of things in the Facebook group, by the way. Using the Facebook group specifically for really techie support ticket questions. That's why we got a support desk. That's why I got a support desk there. Service 7 days a week. Okay? But if you want to come in there and hey, this is the win I had this week, or I found this really nifty Firefox add-on module that might help you guys out, or hey, can you guys help me kind of test something here? That's where we all rise and shine. Okay. Okay, press release. Okay, let me copy this question. Copy, and I have another slide open. I do. Okay. All right, so people ask about this quite a bit, so this is a really good question. Thank you for sending it in, Larry. Press release. Your comment today in today's topic makes me ask if we need caution because of a large number of links at once from press release. Very good question. And it's something we get, again, this is a very common question, but press releases, you got a whole bunch of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 backlinks coming at one time. It's no problem at all. It's perfectly natural. I can assure you 1,000% you will not be penalized for that. So no worries about that. That's a common thing. It's you don't need to worry about. Google's fine with it. It's a news release. Let's say, just think of it this way. Let's say, for example, that you had some newsworthy item happen to your brand new site, and it went viral on the news. Google will not penalize you for that. Viral content that gets blasted out to various news stations, do not get penalized. This is a common occurrence. So no worries there. When you do press releases, though, I would recommend that if you can, from whatever press release company that you use, is get all of the URLs for the backlinks to all of the places that it was sent to. So all the backlinks. So if you were to take all those backlinks and you were to click on them, it would take you to the news station or the news outlet that has actually posted your news release. And then if you can get a hold of those, which some allow and some don't, then you want to take those and run them through, if you got some kind of fancy backlink indexer, Linklicious. So there's a whole bunch of them out there. It's not a bad idea to kind of keep running those through there a few times to get those links, all those links indexed, because there's so many of them, and make them count. And then there's always going to be one or two or three that are going to float up to page 1 or 2. It'll always happen, guaranteed. There'll be 1 or 2 press releases that will post that when you type in your main keywords will show up on either page 1 or 2. And those particular press releases you could use as a tier 1. And you could start blasting some backlinks to those. And then you could keep those on page 1. And that's something we do all the time. And so what happens is that you got your site there, and then all of a sudden you got this third-party reference, right? It's like some kind of news station or something. And it's talking about you because it's a newsworthy topic. It gives you tremendous credibility because it's a third-party credibility source. And it's on the same page as your site. It looks really good. People like that. It helps your rankings. And so if you just do a press release and you just kind of forget about it and don't do nothing, you didn't take full advantage of all the power. So you should always follow up with 2 steps. Number 1, try to get all the URLs to all your backlinks. And then run those through Linklicious or whatever kind of backlinking indexing system that you have. If you got nothing, then just at least ping them. And then those 1 or 2 sites that end up floating up to page 1 or 2, pay attention to those and start blasting some links at those. So they stay there. So they stay there or even push them up higher on page 1 and they stick. Okay. So I think that's okay. Alrighty. Okay. All right, so this will be the last question. Last slide. Shazam. Okay, how do I get a Google My Biz listing without a postcode verification? Well, that's about a $2,000 question at least. That's included in the course, and it's not something that I could just answer right now. It actually takes months of work. You need to create a credible site with an IP address that's local and a profile that's local and a Google Plus, and everything's got to look legit. Okay? And I go over every single step in the course up until the very last step, or 1 step left that I've left out of the course. And when you're ready for that last step, you just contact support and we'll show you the very last step. But we want to verify. We want to look at your site and make sure that you are ready for it for 2 reasons. 1, we want you to be successful. 2, we don't want someone coming in and just like trying to shortcut and hack their way into this, because then it will ruin it for everybody. Okay? And also know this, that the Google 3-pack is not some kind of quick hack and it's going to be your ticket to freedom, because it's a black hat method, and it's not a sustainable business model. It's just a little added bonus. If you can get it, great. If not, your business is still going to run great anyways. Okay? And then later on in the course, but you need to have at least 2 cities on your master domain ranking above the fold in 2 different cities. Then you're going to be ready for this next course. And it's going to be an additional income stream to what you're doing right now. And it's of the very unknown world. I'm one of the very few people that know about this through spending hundreds and thousands of dollars doing it. And you can always ask everybody, hey, you've heard about Google AdWords, yes? Oh, yeah. You can ask anybody, you heard about Google AdWords, right? But what about Google Pay per click? Where instead of charging you on a call, they charge you on a click. Okay? So let's say you got a handyman. I'm just going to tell you this right now, straight up. A pay per, and I'm not in this niche, by the way, I just know. A pay per click or a pay per call. So say you got an AdWords account and you get up an AdWords account and you set it up correctly. And I don't know anyone who knows how to set up correctly, by the way. You set up a AdWords correctly for pay per call, not pay per click. And the only time you get charged is when someone calls your number. And for a handyman, it's going to be around $3 max. And you're going to be right up at the top 4-pack. You know the form I'm talking about, at the top of the page. And they click on that, and they click only from a device that they can call from. And they can't do anything else. That's what Google forces them to do that. And then you pay $3 for that call. And you've already arranged with your handyman that you're going to charge $18 per call. So it costs you $3. Call goes over, and they pick it up, and 18. So you just made $15. And then you can literally say, I'm going to make your phone ring from 9 a.m. until, when do you get off work, Mr. Handyman? 4 p.m.? Okay, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Monday through Friday, I'm going to make your phone ring, starting tomorrow. I'll leave you with that. My name is Chris Winters. Talk to you on the next video. Bye-bye.